Hello, I'm Sunde and I make coloring books. For my book, From the Sea to the Trees, I had the opportunity to color in every single image that's in here so that you guys can use it as a reference. But it was really great because I learned a lot of techniques because I don't use colored pencils that often, but now I feel like I'm a real pro since I just spent like 100 hours coloring in images so that you guys had them as references. So one of the things I want to talk about today is how to blend colors together to create a three-dimensional feeling to the image. Again, I use these Prismacolor brand, which are awesome because they're soft enough. First of all, they have 1,000 colors. Lift that up and show you my 1,000 colors, which I went into before. That you can just buy these in singles so that you can get your exact colors that you want, not just what you can find in a box. Because for this technique, you need a lot of subtle differences in the colors. So the first thing I want to talk about when you talk about blending colors on paper, you have to find colors that are all in the same family or else it won't work. So for instance, I'm gonna color in a robin's redbreast. So for that, in my head, this might take a little time to figure out, but if you really start thinking in these terms, you will start to notice things if you start to really look at it. So the robin's redbreast is not just pink red or pure red. It has a lot of orange and earthiness color to it. So I chose colors that are in the orangish red family, which this seems confusing maybe if you've never thought of colors, but once you really start to notice, this will get easier for you. So I'm going to draw a few so that you'll see that they're kind of in the same family, and then I'm going to give you another example of a couple reds. Like these are have a lot more kind of a pink color to them, and so they wouldn't really match with these two colors. They would almost clash. They wouldn't blend in well. They would just stand out kind of oddly. So first of all, here's the darker red. So here's the reds I'm choosing for the robin. And you can see that they are, especially this one, you can see it has much more orange in it. So these are all in the same family. This is the lighter version of this color. And then for a highlight here would be even more orange, and you're going to be able to go back in over all these colors and it'll blend it all together. But I just wanted to show you, like for example, like if you were looking at all these colors, you can see that this one has a lot more pink in it. And so it doesn't really match with this family. It's much more of almost like a fuchsia red color. So it wouldn't really make any sense. Both of these have a lot of pink in them. So it'd be kind of weird to combine like an orange red with this pink red. So that's just something to kind of get used to looking at. So let's get rid of those and put those very far away. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to blend colors. So first you're going to start with the darkest of the colors, which is this one. And you're going to go along the border. I'll just do part of it, but just so you can get the effect. And then this will take time, and it would be great if you want to practice on a spare piece of paper where you go from darker and then just lighten, just put less and less pressure, because that's what the technique that you're gonna do right here. So we're just gonna, with the darkest color, so you start at the edge and then you go lighter and lighter, and a lot of times I like to just cover the entire part that I'm coloring in with the light, because it just sort of adds another layer. Like a lot of making realistic things with either paint or colored pencil is to just layer and layer and layer. It just creates a lot more dimensionality and interest, and that's how things are in nature. They actually have a lot of different feathers with a lot of different colors, so that's what you're doing on a flat surface. So now this is the next color. It's the next darkest color. It's still a red with a tiny bit of orange in it, and I start over the darker red. And these are almost the same color, so I'm just actually going to go over the lighter part because it's not that noticeable. It's just building a little bit of texture and a little bit of different coloring. I'm not going to actually use it that much because the orange is what's going to really bring it out. I go over that darker part a tiny bit. This isn't that noticeable, but it makes a difference. So we just did a little bit of a lighter with this darker red. Now this is a much more of an orange red. This is going to make the big difference. So we're going to, again, I'm going to leave this original darkest part of red just so there's some pure red in there. But basically I'm going to go pretty heavy. And where it's really going to make a difference is where this lighter red has been. It's going to fill in all these gaps and just create a really nice orange hue that just gives it a really nice dimension. And then what it also ends up doing is giving it a really nice three-dimensionality, because we're creating sort of a roundness, which means the light's like hitting right here, and that means it's curved like that. See, that's such a nice orange red color. I'm actually got all pumped up about the orange, so I'm actually gonna put it all over the red because I just got excited about it. All right. Okay, so now there's just this little bit left, and that's where the darker orange comes in. And that's basically just the highlight. I'm gonna do it really hard. Don't worry about like the fade out anymore. And that's basically highlighting the center part. So that's it. That's how you get some great three-dimensionality and really rich color from these colored pencils.